Welcome to the Unfuck Your Fitness podcast. I am your host, Christy Castillo, and I'm here to give you real talk and cut the BS so you can actually enjoy building a body you love. I'm a personal trainer obsessed with giving you simple action steps to take you from feeling stuck to feeling sexy. Let's go. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to today's episode. I am super freaking pumped for this episode. I know I say that, it seems like I say that quite a bit, maybe not, but I'm genuinely excited for every episode that I record. Of course, I know it's going to bring you some amazing value, but today, hopefully this is going to blow your mind and change the game for you. I know macro tracking is something that everyone struggles with. It even took me a few years to kind of nail it down. I know that my clients struggle with this, and I know you struggle with this. I know that it's hard, and I pay really good attention to exactly what my ladies are struggling with and exactly what helps them the most to overcome those struggles. And so I'm just super pumped. I know this is going to bring you a shit ton of value. So today we're going to talk about, and of course, true Christy Castillo fit fashion, we're going to be talking, I'm just going to be giving it to you straight. I'm going to be talking about how to do it on your own, how to macro track on your own, of course, and how I teach my ladies. So you can kind of get an idea of the struggles that are going to come with it when you do it on your own and the struggles that are going to come with it if you were to do it with me or someone else teaching you. So let's dive in. So we are a few weeks at the time this episode is coming out, we are a few weeks into my Winter Shred series, which is my group coaching program. I have a bunch of ladies inside of there. We have a group chat for accountability. They're all doing the same workout program. And of course, they have personalized macros. And so each one of them has their own macro count, their own goals, because they have different bodies and different goals and different lifestyles than the other people in the group. So I always like to pay attention to the struggles and the questions that my ladies have, and there are a ton of them in the beginning because all of this is really foreign to them. And so I take a lot of notes, I pay a lot of attention, I spend a lot of time answering their questions so that I can have, well, obviously so I can help them, but of course, so I can bring this information to you too and really break it down and make it make sense. And so macro tracking, I'm not getting into what macros are in this episode. I have other previous episodes about macros, which are phenomenal, and you should go listen to them. A lot of times when my ladies come to me with macro questions, I will send them to, episode, I think 6 and 13 are really common ones for macros. I should have double checked that, but I'm pretty sure. I will refer them back to those podcasts and just have them go listen and then come back to me with questions, because those episodes that I previously recorded on macros do a really good job of explaining what they are and how. And so that can be really helpful. So if you don't know what macro tracking is or what that's all about or how it can help you, please listen to this and then go back and listen to the other episodes that have macros in the title, and then come back and listen to this if it will make more sense after that. But macro tracking can be really hard to do at first. It can be hard to understand. It can be hard to implement. There's a shit ton of information on the internet, which we'll get into in a minute. Even for me, this was years ago, but as I was first learning, I really wanted to get out of clean eating and tracking every single thing I ate on a piece of paper at the end of the night and measuring my food on a food scale or in plastic freaking containers. I realized that was not going to, I literally would picture myself as like a 60-year-old woman and be like, am I going to be measuring foods out of these color-coded containers like as a grandma? Like, what is going on? And so I needed to figure out how to get out of that lifestyle. And so I heard about macros, of course. I Googled them. I saw different videos and different people doing, counting macros. And it was really overwhelming. There was so much information. And so I tried to do it. I would follow different people and read their websites and do exactly what they said. And none of it worked for me directly. A lot of it was because the people that I were looking to for this information on the internet, they were just fitness professionals. And I think a lot of that got lost. I mean, I am a fitness professional, absolutely, but I'm also a busy mom. And this is my job, but it's different when, these people are getting paid to basically display their body on stage and be in shape. And they're basically being paid to count macros, right? And change their body. And so I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but that's really different when, I think for the majority of us men and or especially ladies, because that's who I'm talking to mostly, that's not our goal. And so we want to have a little flexibility. I mean, yeah, I want to have a banging body and I want to understand macros and I want to be able to go out to eat, have food freedom more than I want to be in a bikini contest, I guess. So I realized that my goals were different than theirs. And so I was going to have to do this a different way. But it took me a few years, frustrating years, because again, I already knew a lot about health and fitness and nutrition, and I just could not make this work. And that's another reason that the way that I teach this is really beneficial for you, beneficial for my clients. I help them understand it as a busy human. And so if you're going to do this on your own, what you're going to actually do is you're going to jump online, just like I did. You're going to read all about macros and what they are and if it fits your macros. And depending on the website, you'll get different information. You'll find a macro calculator. You'll put in all of your information. You'll get numbers that you think are absolutely insane because you're used to eating basically nothing and starving yourself trying to lose weight. So you're going to get these numbers of fuel for your body, proteins, fats, carbs, calories, and they're going to be super freaking high. And you're going to either try to hit those numbers and fail, or you're going to not even try because you're going to see like, oh, I need to eat 120 to 160 grams of protein. Like that's impossible, right? So you're either going to try to do that, be very frustrated and quit, or you're going to not even try at all. The first one was me, and I ended up quitting and starting over and quitting and starting over. I think it was about 8 times. So I actually had 2 clients comment on macros this week, which is crazy because I really wanted to talk about this and it just tied in really well. One actually said that they wanted to Google a few weeks into the program. They wanted to Google all about macros because I only give my ladies, I'm going to go into this further, but I only give my ladies the information that they need at the time they need it. I do not overwhelm my ladies and give them all the knowledge on macros and just spit out facts to them. I only give them bits and pieces based on what they need to know, like on week 1, week 2, week 3. So some of my ladies, type A, me, we want to know everything. And so one of them said that she wanted to Google macros, but she was like, I have you and I don't want to do that. I don't want to become overloaded. So I was really excited to hear that because at least we're beginning to know that the internet it gives us an overload of information and then we become paralyzed and stuck and do nothing. There was 2 other ladies that did Google macro tracking because I wasn't giving them quote unquote enough information on them. So they were curious and they went to the internet, Googled macro tracking, and then they were so overwhelmed. They came to me with so many questions and I answered the questions that they needed to know for where they were in their journey. One was literally on the first week of their journey. She knew nothing about macros. So I did answer her questions. I also steered her to the podcast to listen, which was very helpful for her. The other one was on like week 3. And I could tell her a little bit more. And I was just very honest and said, I'm actually not going to tell you any more than this. You don't need to know more than this right now. You need to execute on what I'm telling you, and then we'll move on to the next step. So that's kind of what happened in my world this week to kind of make me realize that like this is a topic we need to talk about. So let's get into macro tracking. So you can Google a macro calculator online if you're going to do this yourself, and you will find many options. But like I said earlier, good luck sticking to those numbers because they are going to, while the numbers might be based on a very generic macro tracker computer that doesn't know you, the numbers may be accurate, probably not, but they're going to be super high and you're not going to understand. So good luck sticking to that. I teach my ladies a better, slower approach. And like I said, I only give them information that they need. That is so important. Let me say that again. I only give my ladies the information that they need because if information was all you needed, Google, right? If information was all we needed in general, as far as like lifestyle, fitness, money, right? You should be fit as fuck. You should be rich. You should be a millionaire. You should be so happy, right? Our mindset should be so great. We should just be so happy, but we're not. We're not. We are struggling. And so you can get on the internet and you can look up information on how to be happy, how to be fit, how to have your best body, how to be healthy, how to make money. But that information does nothing if you don't understand it and if you don't implement it. Let me say those two things again. You have to understand the information and you have to implement it. Hello, that's a coach's job. That's me. So I actually did this business-wise on a coach with my call this week, just to give you an idea of that I do the same thing, right? So, and this was more business. This wasn't health and fitness-wise, but my business coach and I had talked about this plan that I needed to do, and here's the actions and, blah, 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 to hit my goals. And I was finding myself really, really, really overwhelmed to where I took zero action. And so I reached out and said, I need to go back to the basics. I need a slower plan. I need to understand exactly what you're having me do and why I'm doing it, because then I'll be able to actually implement it. So I wanted a better outline so that I could understand and I could implement. And that's exactly what we did on this week's call. And I have much better notes. I have 6 things I have 6 things every day that I need to do in my business. And it made it so much clearer. I could get on and, Google how to run a business, how to be a personal trainer, how to be a better coach, how to make $1 million. But if I don't understand and I can't implement what it's saying, then it leaves me paralyzed. And that's what happened to me. So I know exactly how this feels. And so if you're going to do this on your own, you can do that. You can definitely do this on your own, but I'm going to walk you through my method, what I do for my ladies, and you can kind of tweak it and do it for yourself. And this is how I would have you do it on your own. Just obviously you're not going to have me. You're not going to have a coach to walk you along with it. But this is what I do for my ladies. And this is how I would have you do this on your own if you were going to try to do that. So when my clients sign up with me, they purchase a program. I go in and I set up macros for each client at the beginning of that program. But that is my best guess on their macros. I take their age, their height, their weight, their goal weight, their goals on do they want to have energy? Different things like that. Do they want to build muscle? All their goals, their activity level, and the workout program that they're doing, which is mine because they signed up with me. So I know exactly what workouts they're doing. And I'm pretty damn good at setting up macros for each. With that information, with my programs, I've done it enough that I'm really, really good at my system of setting up macros for each client in the beginning. But it's my best guess. And this will be for you too. If you go to an online calculator and you get those numbers, that's going to be a best guess. What I then have my ladies do, and what I would have you ladies do, is to track for a week. So when I set up those macros for my ladies, I actually set them up pretty low, which is the opposite of what an online calculator is going to do for you. The online calculator is going to set you to literally where you need to be to get to your goal. And those macros are going to be high because you can technically eat so much more food than you think. So at first, you're going to freak out when you see those numbers. This is why I set my ladies' macros low at first. Again, because they don't understand. And some goals can be really hard to hit. So let's just talk about protein, for example. If I have a client come to me at 180 pounds and her goal weight is 150 pounds, per my rule of consuming 1 gram of protein per pound of goal body weight, she would need to be consuming 150 grams of protein daily. Well, if she comes to me and she's currently only eating 60 grams of protein daily, I cannot instantly set her goal from 60 grams of protein to 150 grams of protein and say, here is your new goal. You need to start eating 90 grams of protein more this week. Good luck. That seems really unreachable, and it's actually not good for your digestion at all. I've had ladies try to do this. At first, that's what I would do. I would give, my ladies their macros and say, here's your goals. of course, I would help them reach it. But like, that seemed really unreachable. They would not hit that goal. They'd be really frustrated. And it's honestly just not good for your digestion to start consuming, not that it's 90, but in this case, it would be 90 grams of protein more daily. And that's just insane. Your body is going to be like, what the heck is going on? So I set the bar lower so that this particular client, so that she can reach her goal for the next few weeks. And then I moved the bar a little bit higher, and same with the other macros. So in that example, if her goal daily protein would be 150 grams, but right now she's consuming 60 grams, I would bump her up to 80 grams for the next week and say, okay, increase that by 20 grams this week, increase it by 20 grams the next week, and in little increments until she's hitting that goal, and then she's hitting the next goal, and then we're hitting the next goal. And so that's what I do for my ladies. It's a low number, but it freaking works. So keep that in mind for yourself. So after I set my ladies' macros low, I have my ladies track food for 1 week. I have them try to get as close to that goal that I set for them as possible, while just being mindful of the fact that I really just want them to get into the habit of tracking their food every single day. You can use MyFitnessPal. Yes, you have to pay for it now. It's not really that expensive, so don't freak out. You can scan the UPCs of everything you're eating. It'll create a food list for you, so you can just go in there and click on it next time, so you don't have to keep scanning. But I just have my ladies track their food for 1 week. Yes, try to hit the goal, but also just keep in mind that I really just want you to track every single thing that you're eating. I don't even necessarily want you to change what you're eating. I just want you to track what you're used to eating, because this first week, what we're doing is collecting data. We're just getting information. And you'll be so surprised at how your foods are broken down. So once you have your goal, I still want you to maybe, try to hit that goal, but use up the foods you have in your house, of course, and see what you're already doing. If you track for a week of the foods you're already used to eating, it will be mind blowing to you of like either, oh God, I thought I was eating healthy and I'm really not, or I thought I was eating a lot and I'm really not. It'll really just open your eyes as to what you need to change. You don't know what you need to change without keeping track of that. And so after that, I have my ladies track for that full week, all the food they're eating. I don't care if it's embarrassing. I don't care. I don't care if you drink wine every night. I don't care if you eat a freaking candy bar every day. I prefer you do, actually. Okay, maybe not the wine, the candy bar for sure, but to each their own. After that, I then adjust their macros if needed, and I give suggestions based on where they need to go. Usually that's more protein. So I really talk to my ladies like, okay, you're actually not doing that bad. Like, let's look at what you ate. Let's look at your goals. Let's look at where you were. And clearly you need to get some more protein. And that's about it. That's usually what I say that first week, because usually that's true. How do I want to say this? Most of my clients, when they come to me, are severely under eating. So I can actually say to you, I don't care. Keep eating your Taco Bell, keep eating your McDonald's, keep eating your Pizza Hut, but add in some protein snacks. Most of my ladies, like I said, are severely under eating in the sense that they don't get enough carbs anyways in their day, because everybody thinks carbs are bad and they cut them out. So usually I can say, eat exactly how you're doing right now, add in some of what, either eat more of what you're already consuming that has a high content of protein, or add in some snacks like Greek yogurt, string cheese, Kodiak products, edamame or black beans to your salads or your dinners, protein pastas instead of like regular noodles, add in protein shakes and protein bars. Ask in the group chat that we have for my group programs. That's what they're there for, and see what other ladies are doing. So usually it's really, really simple for me to say, this is what you're consuming right now. This is where you are right now. This is your goal of where we need to go. It's really not that bad. Here's the gap, and here's what you can add in to, and these are hopefully foods. I give so many protein examples so that they can find a protein that they actually like. So I'm not giving them foods that they hate and saying, go eat a shit ton of this. I know you hate it, but figure it out. This is not a diet. This is not that kind of a situation. We're not doing that. So for the next few weeks, I have them work on hitting their numbers, finding staple foods, which are foods that you eat weekly, daily, often enough that it helps you to hit your goals. So you can have a Greek yogurt every single day or every other day. You can have string cheese every day or every other day. Finding foods that you enjoy that will help you to hit your macros. So that's what we work on, hitting those numbers, finding your staple foods, and being consistent with tracking. I want you to get used to scanning things, used to tracking. I actually like my ladies to pre-track. So I want them to go in the night before and track their foods for the next day so they can see exactly what they're going to eat. They have it mapped out. They know what to pack for lunch. They know what snacks they're having. And they also know they're going to hit their freaking goals. So that's awesome. You don't get to the end of the day and you're like, oh, I need 30 grams of protein and it's 10:30 at night and I don't have anything. Then you're screwed, and you do that day after day after day. Well, pre-plan, right? This also helps on the weekend. So you can pre-plan and say, okay, I know I'm going to have a ton of pizza this weekend. We're going to our friends, going to have some pizza and some beers. So maybe the day before or the day after, you plan on going a little less carb crazy because you're going to go a little more carb crazy. Now, like on a Saturday or something. I should have finished my sentence there. Now, that being said, if there's a day where you're like, oh, I just got invited to my friends, it was last minute and I went overboard on my food, like that's fine. This is a lifestyle. I'm never going to tell you to say no to an event just because like it was a last minute thing. You can always do the day after. Or you can always just say F it for one day and say, cool, I ate a crap ton of pizza and I drank a crap ton of beer and it is what it is. Do I feel a little guilty? Yes. Am I going to like move on and call it good? Yes. So, but pre-planning your foods can be really, really beneficial in that. So that's what we work on for the next few weeks. I would say 4 to 6 weeks. We just work on hitting those numbers, finding staple foods. It becomes habitual. It becomes simple. It becomes easy. And then, and only then, do we change macros again if needed. This is usually it is needed if adhered to. If my clients can stick to the macros that I kind of lowball for them for 4 to 6 weeks, usually we can up it, right? So if I have my client coming to me, again, we'll use our previous example, and her goal protein is 150 grams a day. Well, let's say we get kind of stuck at like 120, right? Like she's really doing great on 120, but she's also still finding it kind of tricky to get that goal. Like she's there, but she can't really see herself eating anymore. Well, I'm going to leave her there then for a while. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to leave her there for a few weeks. 4 weeks later, if she's hit 120 grams of protein daily consistently for like 4 weeks, I'm going to bump her up to 130, 140, 150, and we're going to keep climbing to get to those goals. Again, in further episodes, I talk about this more, but once your body gets used to eating more food, it then can use that food for fuel. You're going to start losing fat, building muscle, and you're going to need more food. So only then, once you've adhered to it, can we up your macros. So this is how my ladies understand macros. They see themselves eating more and not gaining weight. It clicks. They trust me and the process versus Google and unrealistic numbers, of course. So I hope that's helpful. That's how I do it for my ladies, and it works. It's magical. If you're doing this on your own, you can use my Fitness Pal. I'd probably send you to my Fitness Pal versus just an online macro calculator, but be sure to track for a full week. So you're going to get, my Fitness Pal is going to spit out numbers at you. It's not completely accurate, but it's better than nothing if you're doing it on your own. Just be sure to track for a full week to gather information and then gradually work up to the number that my Fitness Pal has set for you. I highly recommend, though, that you hire someone that you trust to cut out the guesswork. This will save you so much time and so much frustration. But that's the order that I would have you do it in. Let me go over it just really, really quickly one more time. So if you're going to do it on your own, I would recommend you use the online calculator from my Fitness Pal. Get those numbers, track your macros for a week, see where you're at, see where you need to go, then start consuming more of what you already consume and then add in more protein because like I said, I'm pretty damn sure that you are going to be low in carbs. You're going to, or okay in carbs. You're going to be probably low though. So you're going to be fine eating what you're already eating. Just add in a lot of those protein sources that I mentioned before. Work on hitting those numbers, getting your body used to that amount of fuel. Your body's going to learn to trust you. Find some staple foods. Do not give up. If there is one thing that I need to stress in this process, this will take a while. This will not be instant success. And I've talked about this in previous episodes too. So if this is the first episode you're hearing of me, please go back. This is not a quick fix. This is not a quick process. Fortunately and unfortunately. Unfortunately, because I know you want quick results and you want this to be like the fastest thing ever, but it's not. And that's a good thing because this is a lifestyle. You want your body to trust you. If this was just another quick fix, then what is the freaking point? Because you're going to lose a bunch of weight, then you're going to quit and you're going to gain it back. And we're not doing that here. But I do want to encourage you to not give up. You're going to need to track your macros consistently, eat your numbers consistently for 4 to 6 weeks minimum before you start to, I don't want to say before you start to see any changes. That's not true. But before you really start to understand and before you start to see the changes that you really, really want. That's why it's important to have someone in your corner cheering you on and explaining to you if the scale is not moving, which that was a previous episode too. Who cares about the scale? But those are things you're going to want to see move. And if it's not, there's someone there to help you understand why that's not working so quickly. But macros are a lifestyle. They are literally the amount of food your body needs. It's not a diet. And so I really want to encourage you to stick with it long-term, 4 to 6 weeks, start tracking those numbers that you are trying to hit and then bump up from there if you need to and make some changes. But that's how we do it. I hope this was so helpful. That's how we do it at Christy Castillo Fit and all my programs and all my ladies. And my ladies just get it. They're always like, thank you so much for making this doable for busy moms. Thank you for helping me understand food. Thank you for giving me permission to eat white bread and white rice, or God, bread and rice in general, pizza, right? So this is the way that it works. And I'm so pumped to be bringing you this information today. Please, please, please screenshot and share this episode online with your friends because I know that there are so many ladies that need to hear this episode. So please share, tag me when you do, and I will talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to today's show. Go ahead and leave a rating and a review. And of course, follow the podcast so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And I would love it so much if you came to connect with me over on Instagram at Christy Castillo Fit. I will see you next time.